Joining me now is New Jersey Congressman and member of the House DOGE caucus, Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, your reaction, because it's all good and nice to talk about waste in government and ways that the U.S. government can be more fiscally responsible. But a lot of times when it comes to making those cuts, it stops because many decide, well, it's okay if you want to cut it in your state, but don't cut a program in my state.
But here's the deal. We're not even talking about good programs that help Americans. I've even said we need to use a scalpel and not a sledgehammer. This is nonsense. Our past presidents, the words were meaningless. Words without actions don't accomplish anything. So when you look where money was spent, do we really need gender sensitivity training for journalists in Sri Lanka? Do we really need to send people from Ukraine, fashion experts from Ukraine, to Paris to fashion shows? Do we really need to spend money to Serbia for gender sensitivity in their workplace? Do we need to send condoms to the Taliban? These are all factual stuff. So I'm going to give you a different angle on this. I think you can take care of people in their states. I think you can take care and make sure that Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security and our veterans and our military and on the list goes on can be adequately funded and taken care of. Don't waste all this money on all this nonsense, and it's worse than nonsense. I don't want to say the words on national television around the world. That's the bottom line. We're taking away from good Americans who are breaking their back, working 1 and 2 jobs, sometimes more every week, that are working hard just to spend money on, I don't even know what to call it. It's more than waste. It's just counterintuitive. You couldn't believe it. And the last thing I want to say here is I wish everybody could sit with me in the DOGE caucus, sit with me even in my Judiciary Committee, and hear and see how we've spent money and what our focus has been. It's unbelievable. Even if you are a Democrat, you should be nauseated by this.
Well, look, but Democrats aren't doing that. They're trying to come up with whatever they can to complain and yell. Senator Tim Kaine was on a program yesterday complaining about cuts to a VA facility in his state. But I'm glad you brought up Medicare and Medicaid, because truly for meaningful cuts to happen, I know that the $2 trillion is the DOGE caucus's goal, and that's Elon Musk's goal, and that's great because we have $36 trillion in debt. Applaud that. But at the same time, isn't it true that it really is going to have to be Medicare, Medicaid? Aren't those the programs that are really going to need to be addressed for true cuts to happen?
So these are all true cuts that are going on. There's more cuts that can be made. Let me be clear. This is like, you could say a cruise ship or an aircraft carrier. This engine, this deficit debt engine has been going on for years. We're not going to turn it around in a dime. I've personally spoken to President Trump numerous times about this. He doesn't want to hurt hospitals or good people. Remember, Medicaid, yeah, there are some people on Medicaid that just don't want to work and are able-bodied, and that we have to clean up and that we have to clear up. But Medicaid is also for hardworking people, really, who have jobs. I can name people that are working 6 days a week, some of them 7 days a week, in jobs that just don't pay a lot of money, and their health insurance comes through that. I will not support taking people off of their health insurance. That is a mistake philosophically, and it is a mistake for the Republican Party. So we can save the money. We can do the right thing, get rid of the waste, but don't hurt American people in the process. And I'm telling you, Cheryl, it doesn't have to be one or the other. We really can do both.
Well, it has to be multifaceted for sure. And one of my favorite lines from Elon Musk was, did you know that there's 150-year-old people that are getting Social Security checks? Wow, there's somebody out there that's 150 years old. Fascinating. The way the waste and the fraud, I think, is the biggest issue here. But let's talk about immigration right now, because these arrests from Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials has been skyrocketing so far this year. Department of Homeland Security data shows that over 1 week, arrests were up 137%. Arrests of suspected gang members, 105% jump. Arrests of aliens with criminal history is up 100%. So Border Czar Tom Homan told Maria yesterday that things are underway and that he's going to keep going. Watch this.
The arrests are up, and yet you still get pushback from the sanctuary cities. How significant is that pushback, and is it stopping you from doing your job?
Oh, it's absolutely not going to stop us. I mean, it makes our job more difficult, makes the job more dangerous. I mean, the numbers, as you said, we're more than twice the numbers as Joe Biden had a year ago from today, and the vast majority being public safety threats. But am I happy? No, I want more, because we had last count we had over 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal convictions walking the streets of this country.
Congressman, your reaction?
I don't know why there's a debate about this. Again, I can't understand, my colleagues across the aisle even having a conversation about this. Let's just talk about those illegals that were either on the terror watch list or members of criminal gangs, have been convicted or charged with crimes in their country of origin or in the United States of America. And essentially, they won't admit it, but the bottom line is, and I'm on the Immigration Subcommittee and Judiciary, we've gone through this. Again, I wish every American could sit there and hear and see and watch what's been going on. They just are arguing to allow criminals and really bad people not only to be free in the United States of America, not only to be illegal in the United States of America, but to be subsidized for their housing, for their clothing, for their travel with debit cards. You've got to be kidding me. This is so wrong. Again, American people are working so hard to make a living, and we're spending this money on this crap.
Yeah. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, thank you so much for joining us on this President's Day. Really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you very soon. Coming up, the Trump